Hi, my name is Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to talk to you all about how you guys can hop dimensions and realities and literally step into the highest version of yourselves. Now, I am very happy and excited to be talking about this topic, and if my voice is a little off, it's because I've been singing. I sing when I'm happy, and I've been singing, so yeah. This video is going to be a very highly necessary topic, and it's going to be very powerful to you guys out here who really want to learn about how you guys can get into a dimension that you really want to be in. What do I mean by that? It's basically, in this current reality, in this current timeline, you might not be where you want to be, and there's certain things that you can do to change that. Now, I am a dimension hopper. I am a reality hopper. It comes with manifestation. That's what manifestation is, hopping to a reality that you desire. If you want to think of this as just manifestation and not reality hopping, you can, but they're essentially the same, because you're taking a reality and you're just kind of flipping it over. And this takes sacrifice, because we are all in a place, well, most of us, a large percentage of the world is in a place that they're happy in. Like, they're comfortable with their ideals, their beliefs, the way they speak, the way they talk. People are very comfortable at where they're at. And most people are not going to take the steps necessary in order for you to change. It is very necessary for you to make some major sacrifices to see some major results. Now, it could be with anything. It could be with a job situation, with a love situation, with a friendship situation, with a family situation, with a protection situation, with you protecting yourself from being cursed, or because this applies to everything, especially for people who are being spiritually attacked. There's certain spiritual laws that fully just work in your favor and go against whatever that you don't want to happen, so it doesn't happen. Now, this is really cool because the spoiler is, when you're doing good and you're on the right track and you're doing everything right, what you want is already coming. It's already yours. And you can speed it up just by doing this. Now, if it's for a good reason, etc., and you fight for it, it's coming to you anyway. But one major thing that you can do is kill off old realities. And I might give an example. So, for example, I had a pimple, right? And Florida Stone Man doesn't really get pimples. I have very good skin. I'm very good on my skincare, especially with the crystals like jade and stuff like that, like jade facial rollers and different other things like that. But once upon a time, I was making an oil that on my website, and in a specific meditation where it required a blindfold, I went like this under the blindfold, and I actually got a giant zit, and the zit was very aggressive. Now, what happened after I got the zit? The thing was a mean zit. It was a giant zit. It was horrible. It was not... I mean, I make TikTok videos and YouTube videos, and people are going to notice the zit, right? So I decided to kill off the reality where I had a zit. This is where it gets interesting. I said against everything, this zit does not exist. I don't care. It's not going to affect me. It's not going to bother me. I'm not going to give it any light. If someone asks about it, I don't even acknowledge it. I won't even reply to the... I would just switch the topic or just... No, this doesn't exist. Because the more if you talk about the zit, let's say that you guys have a zit as well, you want to make it go away. You talk about the zit, you look at the zit in the mirror, you touch the zit, you're thinking about the zit is not it. The zit's not there if you decide it's not there. It sounds crazy, but there's a spiritual law relating to denial and being in the fact of, okay, I'm taking care of myself the best I can. I have good skincare health, I'm eating healthy, etc. You're doing everything in alignment for that zit to not be there. And guess what happened? The next morning I woke up, zit wasn't there. And even then, I mean, this story, it goes kind of against the manifestation of the zit, but that was a long time ago, very long time ago. Now, the zit disappeared. It just flat out disappeared. It wasn't there anymore. The reality was so killed off that it didn't exist anymore. I manifested the zit away. It went away like magic. And this is how you guys can work magic in your lives as well, by the power of the mind. So even if for some of the people are like, oh, that doesn't exist, no dimension hopping, your mind produces, your brain, your mind produces electricity that has effects on the rest of your body, the rest of your aura, the rest of the opportunities coming to you. Now, when you're thinking about a zit, and you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it, you're thinking about it, look. Ooh, Florida Stoneman has a shadow on his face now. Whoa. But when you don't think about it, when you don't give it light, you don't give it attention, it's not getting bigger, it's not getting bigger energy-wise. And there's been scientific experiments as well. When people start giving their pain credibility, giving their pain, like maybe the zit hurt you. Now you're acknowledging the zit, you're talking about the zit, etc. And now the zit's getting bigger, it's staying there longer, it's not going away, etc. Now, fully ignoring it just basically says that you don't accept it, you're not going to give it energy, you're not going to give it light, and now it starves it because everything is energy. In this world and in the spiritual world, everything is energy. You pay with energy. You pay for things that you might not want to be paying for. So when you're paying attention to the zit, you're paying attention. You're paying. You are paying attention, and it's going to accept you paying it attention. When you don't pay it attention, you're not paying it. You're holding on to your spiritual currency, which is, in this world, it's money, like dollar money. But in the spiritual world, it's energy. And you were giving it energy, now you're no longer giving it energy. You starve the zit. Now, think about what's a zit in your life. I'll tell you guys something right now. And I tell, for people who have problems with neighbors, oh, Lord, this is a good example, because this is a very good example. For people who have problems with neighbors, maybe they make some noise, maybe they're just kind of annoying here and there, maybe they're super annoying. If you ever pay attention, that neighbor is a zit. It's a zit to you. It's causing you problems. It's bothering you. If you ever pay attention, when you flat out make an effort to ignore them, somehow it just disappears, somehow they just stop, somehow the noise just ends, the music's turned off, they're no longer pounding and stuff like that, they're no longer being crazy. But the more attention and energy and frustration you give it, the louder they get, the louder the music gets, the more people that come over, the more drama that happens, and then you take it up a step, you take it up a notch. Maybe you knock on the door and say something to them, which that's a good way of doing it as well. Make sure you do that correctly. If they're not nice people and they're just going to do it anyway, after that, just starve them of attention. Be like, okay, this person doesn't exist, they're not in my reality, and shut them out of your subconscious mind as best you can, and their energy will starve from that link between you and them. So they're basically the zit. You're not paying them attention, you're not paying them light, and they'll eventually starve and something else will replace it. Essentially, you're creating a void of energy. You are creating a vacuum. You are creating a suction between the universe, because remember, God is the most high. He is above everything and everyone else. The universe is a mechanism that he has created for us to work with. It can work against us, or it could work for us. You decide. People are out here worshiping the universe. The universe is the fishbowl. God is the maker of the fishbowl. You don't worship the fishbowl. Like, no, thank you, universe. I get what people are saying. I get it. I'm going to get into that topic in a different video. But find your zit. It sounds crazy. Find your zit and make certain sacrifices. Because I said ignore your neighbors. Maybe it sucks to ignore your neighbor. Maybe it sucks. Maybe it's horrible. Maybe it feels painful. Maybe it feels awful. Maybe it's not making you feel good to ignore it. Maybe you can't ignore it no matter what. That's a sacrifice. You literally put a sacrifice of paying no attention to it, which is paying attention to not paying attention to it, and eventually not even noticing it. That's your sacrifice. This is a spiritual sacrifice. You don't have to kill an animal. You don't have to kill... No. This is a spiritual sacrifice on its own that gets rewarded. When you stop paying attention to what you don't want to when you pay attention to things out of questioning, out of uncertainty, out of, okay, have the neighbors stopped making noise? Are they still there? Are there cars there? Whatever it is, stop paying attention, stop paying it light, and it's going to cause a pain within you, because you hit a different level as to, okay, I'm not going to acknowledge this, I'm not going to let this bother me, and it's an inner fight, it's an inner sacrifice. And it might be a month, it might be 2 months, it might be a day. Sometimes it is a day. If you're disciplined enough and you can make the sacrifice that quickly without looking back, sometimes it is a day. The more attention that you're able to not pay it, is the more the sacrifice will speed things up, and the more you'll get to the dimension and the reality that you want to be in. Zitless, noiseless neighbors. I don't know if I just said that right, but neighbors who don't make noise, neighbors who don't cause trouble, etc. let's talk about another example, for example, at work, because I know you guys have a lot of work drama. Now, maybe Ariana at work. I don't know why I use Ariana, like Ariana Grande. Okay. Ariana at work is trying to get under your skin. And maybe, if you ever pay attention, maybe she's been trying to get under your skin all year, but you're having an off day one day, and she actually got under your skin. Now, she's under your skin because you paid it attention by accident because you might have had an off day. And it just took that little conflict of her getting under your skin for something to happen. Now there's drama in the workplace. Now your boss is involved. Now their coworkers are involved. Maybe it's awkward for you to come to work. Maybe shifts are getting moved around because whatever. It's because you paid it attention. How do you get out of this? You stop paying it attention. You starve it. You don't give it attention. You don't give it light. This works for everything. And I remember this, even with work accidents, as crazy as it sounds, I help people with this all the time. When people have accidents or embarrass themselves in work, like, for example, I've had several people tell me super embarrassing stories. Like, they'll be like, Stone Man, can you please help me? Please, I don't know what to do. I just embarrass myself at work. Like, someone's like, like, I've had people tell me, like, they've ripped their pants. Like, things have happened in front of other coworkers and other people at work. And they're so embarrassed about it that they think about quitting. Maybe they don't want to go back, etc. You know what you do? You don't pay the zit any attention. You don't pay it any attention at all. You don't pay that zit. You don't give it life. Because remember, when you pay it attention, you're paying it your attention. And that payment is accepted. Although, when you deny that reality, no matter, because it's uncertain. You don't know how it's going to be when you ignore it. That's part of the sacrifice. Not knowing is part of the sacrifice. The uneasiness, the unknowing versus you having to know if everyone's forgotten about you getting pants at work, or you ripping your pants at work, or maybe even pooping your pants at work. Because you guys tell me stories, and it does happen to some of you. And I've helped people with problems like this. So they're like, okay, how do I make everyone forget? The number one thing you do is, well, of course I'm going to say black tourmaline, so you cut off all the negative energy from that, so there's no negative energy following you home from that. But besides crystals, you don't need black tourmaline for this. You can just do this with your mind. Black tourmaline will help, but one thing you can do is when you go to work, act like nothing happened. It's going at first, because some of you might get lucky. At first, it'll be like the way they act towards you is like they want to see how you're going to react because they know that you're embarrassed, and when you don't react, it actually starts killing the reality off right then and there. And some of you have gotten super lucky to the point where you have killed the reality off and you don't give it any attention, and your mind is so focused to not giving it attention to the point where you actually show up to work and no one even remembers. Like, legitimately, no one remembers. Like, no one can really recall. It might have, like, it's just a kind of like a fading, like, fog in their mind. They're like, But if you bring it up, now they're going to notice it. It's because you gave it light. You paid it attention. But the sacrifice was not knowing and showing up to work, being brave, doing the best you can, believing in yourself. And make sure you ask God, too. Ask God for anything you want, and it's already yours. Be consistent with it, and it's already yours. You've killed that reality off of, and I've seen, like, people have asked me things like, my boss is supposed to be, like, calling me into the office because I did something really wrong, and they're supposed to, like, sit me down and have a conversation with me. And I teach people the same thing. Act like he never did that. Don't even remember it. Just be like, no, he didn't. And people are like, oh, that's lying. It's dimension hopping. You're saying it to yourself. You're not giving it energy. You're not giving it attention. You're not giving it light. Now, when it comes to paying attention, there's different forms of paying attention. So there's some payments are heavier than others. So when you pay attention with your thoughts, it's like smaller payments. When you pay attention with your words and you're questioning it, you're talking about it, you're constantly rambling about it, you're flipping out. Now you're paying it attention with your words. Words have major value, so you're actually giving it lots and lots and lots of payment with your words. So let's just say a thought is 1 payment. Words are about 30 payments. Now when you start acting on it, that's 100 payments. So when you go to work and you act like everyone noticed or remembered, that's 100 payments. You thinking about it is one, just different payments. You guys get the gist of it. This is really powerful. If you guys, and this is about mastering your mind and being disciplined and not. It's about knowing to not know to create a different reality for yourselves. It's challenging. You better believe it's challenging. It's possible. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but it's gonna happen. The thing with the Zit, I got lucky. I'm not gonna say lucky. I got blessed with a dimension hop with the Zit just disappearing the next day. But sometimes your Zits disappear the next day too. When you know your Zit has disappeared, you almost won't have any recollection or memory about it, because remember how I said when you show up to work, no one really remembers it. Everyone's kind of like in a fog about it. Same thing is gonna happen to you, and I'd be surprised if some of you remember when you dimension hop and when you reality hop, because you sacrificed your last reality. So you'll be like, didn't I do something embarrassing at work a few months ago? And that's actually not good. I used the example with the Zit today. That wasn't really good that I used it, but I don't really, that's a sacrifice on my part to be able to teach you guys, because when you kill off certain dimensions and certain realities, don't ever pay them attention again. Act like they don't exist. In this video, I could have acted like that the Zit didn't exist, but it was here to help you guys. That story really helped me change people's lives, and I really helped other people as well. Really helped other people when you sacrifice that reality. And sometimes the sacrifice and payment is something to the effect of you just having a picture of it on your phone. So go delete your pictures, delete certain text messages, delete contacts, act like it doesn't exist. Kill the reality off by sacrificing it. And then you're going to see the dimension that you want to be in. And you might not even remember the last dimension. It won't even piece together or make sense. And that's how you know you're there. Well, if you have any questions, you guys can ask them in the comment section. This is a really cool and fun video topic. Until then, I will see you guys next time. Ciao!